Hey guys, welcome back, and this is part 3 of my movie collection. And I noticed that I got a lot of views of the first one. Well, some views anyway. It's probably grown, like since it's later on in the day now, but I'm not quite sure. Uh, um, hopefully you guys are enjoying this little series of videos that I'm doing. And let's see. So let's get started. First one. Scrooged with Bill Murray, classic Christmas movie. I watch this every year, and just a great, funny comedy. Basically, the comedic version of A Christmas Carol with Bill Murray as like a TV type guy who's like really cruel and ignorant and selfish, and he's visited by an old friend and all that stuff, and tells him that he's going to be visited by three spirits and all that stuff. So it's basically a Christmas Carol, and then turned into like a comedic type version, but really good. This is one of the newer DVD releases from 1988. Just classic movie. And next up is the Monster Squad. And most of you have probably seen this already, but this is the newer DVD release version. Sorry about that. The Tuda Special Edition, the 20th Anniversary Edition, I believe, is out of print. I used to have that as a kid, but I watched it so many times I replaced it with this one. My uncle actually bought it for me a couple Christmases ago. So, yeah, this is the newest edition of it. This is from 2000, and it says on this back 2013. So I think this DVD release is from 2013, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, just great, funny movie. Has a lot of 80s like nostalgia, and it's very close to the Goonies, except it's monsters and everything. It's just a classic 80s movie. Very good. And then Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Of course, everyone has to have this one, and most of you have probably seen this one already. Written, produced, and directed by John Hughes. Stars Steve Martin, John Candy. Classic Thanksgiving movie. Just really funny. And if you haven't seen this movie, then you're missing out on a classic here. Very good one. Next up is another classic, Spaceballs. Mel Brooks' masterpiece right here. It's from 1987. It's a great Star Wars parody. You got Bill Pullman, John Candy, Rick Moranis, Mel Brooks himself, and it's just a great movie. Written, produced, and directed by Mel Brooks himself, and he's still kicking. He's really old now. He's like in his early 90s or something like that now. But, he's still going strong, and this will always be a favorite of mine. This one and Blazing Saddles are two of my favorites of his. Blazing Saddles is my favorite. This is my second favorite movie of his. Just classic. If you like Star Wars, then you definitely want to check this one out. Or even if you don't like Star Wars, you might like it. Next up is a Disney classic, Hercules. Classic Disney. Just a great. It's directed by John Musker and Ron Clements, and they did a great job directing this. Beautiful animation, great singing. Love the soundtrack to this movie to death. Just great voice acting too. Just great everything about this movie. Definitely show this to your friends, family, kids, grandkids, whatever. See this movie as fast as you can if you haven't. Next up is a double feature, Teen Wolf 2. These are fun movies. The first one's the best one. The second one is a decent sequel, but not as fun as the first one, but still fun in some ways. But yeah, the first one, Michael J. Fox, classic movie, very funny. The second one is Michael J. Fox's character. Jason Bateman's the cousin of Michael J. Fox's character in the first one, so he plays a guy named Todd, and he plays a guy named Scott. And everything, and it's just a fun werewolf movie. Like, not horror, it's just a comedy fantasy, really, but just a very fun movie. And the second one's a decent sequel, but it is funny too, but just not as fun as the original, but yeah, pretty good movies. And let's see, next. Yeah, this is a funny one, it's definitely a classic. What About Bob, directed by Frank Oz, starring Bill Murray, Richard Dreyfuss. This movie is absolutely crazy funny, just really hilarious, like about this guy who's a loner and who basically has all these problems, and he's basically harassing his psychiatrist or something like that, and it's just really really funny, and like the guy who goes after this psychiatrist guy, like the psychiatrist guy, ends up being driven crazy by this patient of his, and yeah, it's a really fun, crazy comedy. Love this one growing up, and if you like comedies, this is definitely worth watching and definitely worth a laugh. And let's see, another one of my childhood favorites, The Witches, very creepy ass movie. This one from 1990, and based off the novel by the same name, by Roald Dahl. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I apologize if I'm saying it wrong, but yeah, this is from 1990, and Angelica Houston as the Grand High Witch and everything. And this movie is just great. It's also executive producer is Jim Henson, and they did a great job doing this movie. It's a classic. One of the movies that always scared the crap out of me, but I still enjoyed it at the same time. Not the whole movie scared me, just certain scenes. It wasn't the Grand High Witch that scared me. There was one witch that was in the audience, and like she had like a blue blouse on or something like that, or like it was part of her dress or whatever. That witch scared the crap out of me, but everything else was fine. But yeah, great special effects. I love the story. Everything about this is great. And this movie's actually being remade, and Anne Hathaway's cast as the Grand High Witch, as far as I know. But it'll be interesting to see. I'm very skeptical about it, though, but I'll still go see it. Certainly, nothing will beat this classic of a movie, but I'll still see it, just to be curious about, like how they do it and whatever. And let's see, next up is Project X, very good comedy about this kid that he has the house to himself, so his parents are away for their wedding anniversary, and he invites his friends over, and they invite everyone in the whole school to come to his house for a party, and lots of crazy stuff happens, thousands of people just pour into this party, and a lot of crazy stuff happens, drugs, sex, reckless behavior, and all that kind of craziness. But yeah, it's very funny. It's directed by Nima Norazade, or however you say it. I think it's Nora Sade. I think that's how you say it. I apologize if I'm not saying it wrong, but it's produced by Todd Phillips, the director of the Hangover trilogy, so yeah, it's very funny. This is a found footage film too, and it's really funny. Definitely check it out. Not for the kids, though. But very fun movie. And next up, another classic, Disney classic, Beauty and the Beast. Everyone has to have this movie, and mostly everyone's seen this movie by now, but released in 1991, and just a great movie. This is the 25th anniversary release. This is the signature Walt Disney Collection. This is the newest release of the movie, and it's just amazing. There's 3 different versions of the film. There's the original theatrical, the special edition, and sing-along edition, which I prefer the theatrical version. There's the a special edition, which includes like alternate scenes and stuff like that. But personally, I prefer the theatrical version. The special edition's alright. It's not horrible, but I just prefer the theatrical. It just moves like the story quickly. Yeah, it looks beautiful on Blu-ray. Great picture quality. The soundtrack of this movie is just phenomenal. And this is my favorite Disney movie of all time, for those wondering. And I think I probably said this before. I think I probably said it before in the past, but I can't really remember because it's been. I've made so many videos on YouTube that it's not even funny. But yeah, you have some good extras on here and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. Definitely pick it up if you come across. You can get that pretty much anywhere now. And here's the live-action reboot of Beauty and the Beast, which is actually pretty good too. I saw this in the first day it came out in the cinemas, and yeah, I was really impressed when I heard that this was going to be remade. I was really excited because the original one I always loved, and this one I love just as much. The original one is a little bit better, though, I think, mainly because of like nostalgia reasons. I think is probably why I feel that way. But you have a great cast. You got Emma Watson, Dan Stevens, Luke Evans, Kevin Kline, Josh Gad, Ewan McGregor, Stanley Tucci, Sir Ian McKellen, and Emma Thompson. So, I mean, you have a great cast. Emma Watson was Belle. Dan Stevens is the Beast, aka Prince Adam. They don't really mention his name, but that's his real name, Prince Adam. Luke Evans did a great job as Gaston. Josh Gad played great as LeFou. Ewan McGregor did great as Lumiere. Sir Ian McKellen did a great job as Cogsworth. And yeah, it's just a great film. And it looks really good. And you definitely want to check it out if you haven't seen it yet. If you've seen the original, you definitely want to check out this one. I really enjoyed it. Next up, another classic is The Goonies, released in 1984, I want to say. 85, excuse me. Yeah, great movie, classic, directed by Richard Donner, executive producer, Steven Spielberg, Frank Marshall, and Kathleen Kennedy. Great music, great cast. You got Sean Astin, Josh Brolin, Corey Feldman. You know, the list goes on. And most of you have seen this movie, I'm sure, too. And yeah, I've seen this movie numerous times, and I gotta get this on Blu-ray, as a matter of fact. But yeah, this is a great movie. You have some good special features. You have deleted scenes. The Goonies are good enough music video, really good music video, and deleted scenes, which is actually, they actually call it outtakes, but really it's deleted scenes, so they kind of messed that up there, but whatever. The deleted scenes are pretty amusing, I might say. But yeah, Cyndi Lauper did the song "The Goonies Are Good Enough." It's a really entertaining music video, and it's a great adventure movie. I definitely want to check that out if you haven't seen it. Most of you have probably seen it, but for those who haven't, you definitely need to go see it. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, a horror comedy. Yes, I have this. Don't judge me. Yeah, this is a great movie. It's not the best movie in the world, but it's really fun. Yes, I know it's very cheesy. This is from 1988. This movie this year is 31 years old, so it's a pretty old movie. So yeah, it's very like outdated if you watch it now. And I noticed rewatching it like sometime last month that like it's very cheesy, but at the same time, you know, I really like it though. And, you know, like, you have cheesy special effects and low-budget actors and stuff like that, but honestly, it's a great film. The killer clowns look pretty awesome, and they're also very freaky looking, too. But, yeah, if you like killer clowns, you definitely want to see it. If you hate clowns, then don't even bother watching this. But, next one is a double feature, Ghostbusters 1 and 2, classic movies. You know, Ghostbusters 2 is a great sequel. I know a lot of people hate it, but I'm defending it. And also, it comes with a booklet. It's a scrapbook, like a movie scrapbook. You know, it has, like, a whole bunch of, like, drawings and stuff like that, and really cool stuff. And the special feature on the second movie is the two episodes from the cartoon series, The Real Ghostbusters, which is pretty good. The two episodes are Citizen Ghosts and Partners in Slime, and they're very good episodes. And like, I like the packaging too. It's like all green and has like, it's like all like slime, everything, and it's just awesome. The first edition of the Ghostbusters, the first one that came out, the Special Collector's Edition, actually a lot better compared to this edition, because like if you go to like a thing on the menu, like it actually, you know, like it actually takes you to there actually. So I think that's cool. I'm definitely gonna have to pick that one up, and I'm gonna have to pick these ones. I'm gonna have to pick two of these up on Blu-ray eventually. And I'm really excited for Ghostbusters 3 next summer. And definitely see those if you haven't already. And this one is another good one that's really creepy. Orphan. Just a crazy movie about a family who adopts a new girl, and she is evidently crazy. And it's just a great crazy movie. It's up there with like The Good Son. It's like The Good Son, but it's only like a little bit different compared to The Good Son. But yeah, very good creepy movie. There's rumors of a second one, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Next one is War Dogs, great comedy crime movie that's based on a true story with Jonah Hill, Miles Teller, Bradley Cooper, and directed by Todd Phillips. And yeah, this is a really good movie. It's up there with Goodfellas and all that stuff. So if you like movies like Goodfellas or anything based on a true story, then definitely check this out. It's pretty good. And then next up we have The Dark Crystal, one of my all-time favorites, directed by Jim Henson and Frank Oz, and just great. Very creepy vultures in this, and yeah, this is from the early 80s, 1982, I think. But yeah, just a very good, creepy movie. Definitely show it to the kids, watch it with family and everything, and it's just it's just a classic right here. You can't go wrong with it. It's just amazing. There's also a follow-up to that. There's a TV show that's on Netflix. I haven't watched it yet, but let me know if it's any good for those who have seen it. And then next up is Jim Henson's Labyrinth, David Bowie, and Jennifer Connelly, I think that's how you say her name. Another really good one. Just amazing. Like the whole story of this and the settings and the creature designs is just absolutely phenomenal. If you haven't seen it, then you're missing out on a classic. And then, next up we have Firestarter, based off Stephen King's novel. Drew Barrymore is a little girl with fire powers. Great movie, great book too. And it's just a great movie. Definitely check it out if you like weird kind of horror movies. Stephen King's Silver Bullet, good werewolf movie, one of the best werewolf movies there ever was. National Lampoon's Animal House, classics movie, just hilarious. Of course, you got John Belushi, Kevin Bacon's in this, Donald Sutherland. You can't go wrong with it. It's a classic, very funny. Definitely check it out. And next up is Caddyshack, directed by Harold Ramis. And stars, of course, Chevy Chase, Rodney Dangerfield, Ted Knight, Michael O'Keefe, and Bill Murray. Just a great classic movie. Very, very funny. Definitely check that out. And next up we have some of the Earnest movies. This is the triple feature that you can get pretty much anywhere. Ernest Goes to Camp, Scared Stupid, and Goes to Jail. These are very fun movies. Scared Stupid is my favorite Ernest movie. And then we have Ernest Saves Christmas. And yeah, just all very funny, good, clean comedy movies. They don't make comedy movies like these anymore, which is a shame. But yeah, just classic. I know they're cheesy, but they're always fun to watch. And then this is another one that a lot of you probably don't know of. It's Shinjuku Incident with Jackie Chan and Daniel Wu. And it's just a great movie from 2009. And a lot of people compare this to Scarface, but really, I don't really think that it's really like comparing. I can't really compare it to Scarface because they're basically two different stories. But if you think it's like Scarface, that's fine. But I disagree with that. But Shinjuku Incident, very good drama movie. Not really a typical Jackie Chan movie. Not a lot of fight scenes and not a lot of fight choreography. Not choreography at all, for that matter. But yeah, very good crime thriller. Cedar Rapids, very funny movie. This is with Ed Helms, John C. Reilly, and yeah, it's just really good. Even Sigourney Weaver's in this too, as Ed Helms' girlfriend, who was his teacher years ago, and he's sleeping with her and everything. It's just really a goofy movie. This is from 2011, and it's just hilarious. You definitely want to check this out. If you like Hangover and Superbad, then you definitely like this one. I really enjoy that. Then we have The Wolf of Wall Street. This is the Blu-ray, the DVD. Great movie. Martin Scorsese. Stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Jonah Hill, Matthew McConaughey, Rob Reiner, Jon Favreau. The list goes on and on. Based on a true story too, based on the book by Jordan Belfort, who's the guy that Leo plays in the movie. So very good one. Not for the kids, but very good. Then we have Blindspotting. A lot of you might not be familiar with this one either. This is with David Giggs and Raphael Castle, I think that's how you say his name. But yeah, two of these guys are friends in real life, and they wrote this movie together, and they pulled it off really well. It's a very good, funny movie. It's a comedy crime, pretty much. But yeah, that's good. And then we have Mr. Nice Guy, Jackie Chan, directed by Sammo Hung. Just a great movie, one of the movies I remember growing up with. This one just came out to Blu-ray pretty recently. This is the original, well, this is the American version. The new Blu-ray has the Hong Kong cut and the American version too, which I'm looking forward to picking up the Blu-ray eventually. But yeah, it's a great movie. Very funny. And then we have Jackie Chan's Police Story 1 and 2, directed by Jackie himself. Very fun movies. Police Story is my favorite Jackie Chan film of all time. And this includes the Japanese cut of Police Story 2. This is a director's cut version that was not released in Hong Kong, so it's a lot longer. The Criterion release of these two movies on Blu-ray that came out pretty recently has the Hong Kong cut. I prefer the Hong Kong cut compared to the director's cut version, but I still like it for what it is, but I understand why he cut out some of the stuff that was in the director's cut in the Hong Kong release. But yeah, really fun movies. Definitely check them out. A lot of you might not be familiar with them, but definitely check them out. And this is Super Cop, aka Police Story 3. This is a classic Jackie Chan movie. This is very hard to find now. And also, this one's also very hard to get to. Same with the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray of this is really hard to find. This one I think you can probably find for a decent price, more than the Blu-ray, I know that. But yeah. This one's hard to come by too, but it's very good, directed by Stanley Tong, and this is the, what's it called, the Dimension film release. This is released on Blu-ray too. I gotta get the Blu-ray too that's released on Miramax, but yeah, this is really good. Definitely check out Super Cop. And last but not least, Jackie Chan's First Strike. I love this movie. One of the first Jackie Chan movies I ever saw, and again, directed by Stanley Tong. He did a great job with this. Jackie is just a badass, as always, in this movie, and a lot of crazy stunts and fight scenes and everything. It's just phenomenal. Definitely check it out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And that's part 3 of my DVD collection, or movie collection, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in part 4 of my DVD collection, so stay tuned, and I'll see you guys then.